Something that I didn't know about Wuhan prior to coming here was that in the late 1800s to early 1900s, it was divided into areas controlled by foreign nations. Those nations were France, Britain, Russia, Japan, and today I'm in the area that has many buildings from that time. Behind me is a Mao Zedong statue. Okay, that's not Western, that's not European. These Western buildings weren't popular at all until social media came around. And now Chinese people from all over China come to Wuhan just to see these buildings. It's very interesting, a lot of history. You wouldn't know that. I didn't know that prior to coming here. So in this area already, it's starting to feel very European. When you walk in this area, on the floor there's information saying, oh, this building is from the UK or from Russia. Look at that, here on the floor it says 1921, a German building was constructed. And that building is right there. And now that's a government building. When you look at the street, this feels very European. And it's funny because here in China, I've been to many fake European parks. Fake French park, fake Dutch park. But this is actual European area. So this right here on the floor says there's buildings here from the UK, Germany, Russia, France, and Japan. Mostly buildings from Germany and France. If you squint your eyes, you might think that this is Europe. Those buildings up there, those apartment buildings even look kind of Western. This one right here looks very Western, but also, you know, the trees on the side of the road. If the building is tall, we can assume it's either German, French, or British. And if it isn't tall, then it's probably Japanese. So this old building, you can see that one's ancient. That one's definitely made by the Europeans. You see this building right here? It's ancient. See, this one's built by the Japanese because it's not that tall and it's red. A lot of Japanese buildings are red. So that whole red building is Japanese. This tree right here is a perfect example. Look at this building and look at that building. Straight up feel like you're back home in Germany or France or the UK. Look at this bus. I don't know if that's meant to be European, but... And what you notice straight away is that the Japanese buildings are decaying more. They're worse quality, while the European buildings are still standing up. They're strong. So many Chinese people say that the Europeans back in the day built better things here in China than the Japanese. This one is extremely British. And look at the name of it. It's called the Mushroom Bar, okay? That's the most British name I've heard. This is like I'm back home in the UK or Ireland. Exact same building, same name. Strange name for bars. It even has Christmas decorations on it. Water fact. Strange, but yeah, look at that. It's like I'm back home. You know, oftentimes when I'm exploring China, I say, oh, I'm probably the only foreigner that's ever been here. Well, in this area, I can't say that because some white guys and Japanese guys back 200 years ago were here before me. They probably didn't need a visa to come here though. Yeah. They came here and they built, okay? I'm coming here and I'm just making videos. They came here and they were building. China could have easily demolished these buildings, but they didn't because they want the history to not be erased. Wow, this one is ancient. This house looks straight up haunted. Well, this old European building has been turned into a barber. There's a barber shop right there. I think people live in it. There's many tourist buses here, so I think people, as I said, from all over China come here to see these European buildings. These people don't want to go to some fake European park. These people want to go to real Europe here in China. This restaurant behind me too, like I'm in Paris. This building right here has a pointy roof, so we could assume this one could be German. And this German building has been turned into a bar. £2. Some more bars. I think half of these European buildings are turned into bars. So if you squint your eyes, besides the Chinese flag, would you say I'm in Europe? I'd say, feels like it. Look at this neighborhood. It's like the European hood. These are the kind of places in Europe where unlawful activities get carried out. These are the kind of places where you get morgued, stabbed. In Europe, here no. So that's the difference, okay? Here it's safe, back home it's sketchy. If I'm in a place like this in Europe, I'm sketched out. If I'm in a place like this in China, I'm like, oh, let's take some pictures. And in front of me is the most famous building in this area, Bagongfangzi, a building built by the Russians. There's many photographers here who are pressuring you to let them take pictures of you. Like this guy right here. This was just a normal pedestrian street not that long ago, when then social media came in. It became so famous that it even won awards, architectural awards. I don't think those Russian guys thought that this building would become so famous. There's many restaurants in this area too, because it's such a popular destination. So maybe there's going to be some European restaurants. Elderly groups are going on some tourist trips. Who would have guessed that Wuhan would be popular for this? Street performances just like in Europe. Young Men's Christian Association. A beautiful building, probably built by the French, still standing. Just look at the ground. If you just look at this, just this, you're like, yeah, this guy's in Europe. Look at these restaurants. You can sit outside. This kind of reminds me even of like Serbia. Now in Serbia you can sit outside, eat, have some umbrella over you. They even have a London telephone box. It doesn't say anything too British on it. Hankou historical and cultural blocks. And the reason foreigners came to Wuhan specifically is because of its location. This city is on the Yangtze river, so it's very accessible. You hop on the river, get on a boat, and you're in Wuhan in no time. That's why there's foreigners here and no in other cities in China back in the day. So this city was a key trade center, attracting foreign investment and foreign architecture. Again, you wouldn't think that of Wuhan. And it's interesting to think that in the 1800s, there are more foreigners and more foreign influence in Wuhan than today. It seems like China is the exact opposite of the West. In the 1800s, there were no foreigners and no foreign influence in the West like the UK or France, but now there's a lot of it. And here in China back then, there are a lot of foreigners and now there's none. Exact opposite. And which one's working better? Have to change restaurants because the European restaurant only serves spicy food. I don't know how European that is. Look, might not be the most European restaurant, but I'm getting hungry. Here for the rubbish. And then clean even more. Chinese method. I think this is as European as we can get when it comes to food here in Wuhan. Very delicious though. Yeah. The fish is so good. I don't know if I'm having many European tastes in my mouth, but it's very good. Oh, so soft. Wow, I'm getting less picky the more I eat in China. I felt so Chinese while I ate that. I was eating the fish skin, fish head, fish everything. I was almost eating the bones, okay? Everything's gone. I'm telling you, my taste buds are exploring new areas the more I'm in China. Eating a baguette in front of an old French hotel. How more European could this get? I'm walking in streets like these that my body is telling me that I'm in Europe. And it's late at night. So my body is like, you're in Europe, It's late at night. You should be worried. You should be fearing your life. But then I see many Chinese people. I'm like, wait, I'm not home. I don't need to worry. Actually, in this European style building, Mao Zedong held meetings. So I'm guessing he loved European architecture too. That's the whole brand of that building, is like, Mao Zedong was here. Come here. Mao Zedong was probably taking pictures here too. He was probably fascinated by the European architecture. I'm back here and I'm like, the building is cool, but like, is it that cool? Like, it's so popular, so famous. Everyone's taking pictures here. Is it just because it's a little different? Like, I don't know. This is like a normal street in France. Cherry blossom in the middle of the street. It's real too. I thought it was plastic. 1927 Link Hotel. It's like I'm in central London. Again, with the Christmas decoration on it, even though we're past Christmas. And I think this is where the European architecture finishes. These buildings behind me are starting to look more Chinese, and I'm starting to see more Chinese things here. For example, okay, so behind me is the Changjiang River, and this river is so famous that even Mao Zedong swam across it right here 18 times in his life. Mao Zedong's favorite city was Wuhan. But here's a video of Mao Zedong swimming across the river in the 1950s, right in this exact spot. 1966, 1950, many times. Through 50s and 60s, he swam across here 18 times. So Wuhan has too much lore. At age 73, Mao Zedong crossed this river by swimming in 65 minutes. Look at that, it's a huge river. I don't think I could cross this in 65 minutes. And in summers, many old men cross the river too, trying to replicate Mao Zedong. I think I should do that too in the summer. Dinosaur fossils and modern neon skyscrapers. European, Chinese. Why the hell is there a Titanic right here? Titanic replica. I mean, that's also European